another session of Testudos. I said Testudo formation was the form in which the Romans would fight, shielding themselves with their shields. Testudo. So they had several Testudo formations. But today I'm going to talk about a different kind of Testudo. A shield that we don't understand. We are shielded from so much that if we knew the truth, we will be forever grateful to God and forever grateful to what He's created for us, and be forever grateful for belonging to this planet called Earth. Today's topic is called Significant in Insignificancy. Significant in Insignificancy. But before I can commence, I would like you to look at our beautiful planet. The photograph that was ordered by Seagull before Voyager shut its camera after getting out of the solars, the last point, the interaction with our stars and the interstellar, the place between the sun and the other stars. It's just like when we talk of leaving Earth and going to space. The sun forms a shield around us, a bubble that shields all these other planets. So we are protected. It is the Earth forming an electromagnetic shield and the ozone layer around you. And the probes that have been sent, it has been realized that's not the only protection we get. The sun, when it blows out a wind of electrons, it forms a bubble that covers all the planets and the things that are in the solar system. So that is double protection. It is something we never know, we never think about, and few of us are interested in finding out anyway. We take it to be scientific jargon and should be left to the scientists. This is our beautiful planet Earth, taken from the farthest vantage point, because people now wanted to save electricity for the space probe to continue in interstellar space so that it does not dry out from electricity, sending us messages. By the way, the probe has been traveling for 50 years. 50 years, going at a speed faster than 20 times the speed of a bullet. And this is the photo they got from that space. Look at where we stay. Can you see that dot? Can you see that dot? A dot, a dot, a dot, a dot, a dot, a dot. That dot is planet Earth. That is where we stay. That blue dot you see there, that blue dot is planet Earth. That was the last photo Voyager took before they switched off electricity for many of those other applications, so that it can be able to give us messages about the interstellar space. Farthest. That is our Earth. This is a real photograph. Real. Real. Not a simulation. I also want you to see something interesting. This is planet Earth from the moon. for those who have gone around the moon or on the moon, this is the way we have moonrise and moonset. This is sunset, earth set. This is earth set, the earth setting, the way we see the moon. When you're on the moon, this is the way you see the earth. Earth set, earth set. You can be able to get better photographs from your phone. This is just to make you get to know how important, how beautiful. This is how Earth looks from the moon surface. Earth set, just the way we see moon set. And this is an interesting photograph. This is when now the earth is rising, just the way you see moon rise. When you are on the moon, this is the earth rise. This is the beautiful planet we live on, called Earth. After seeing those, I want us to share, to talk, to understand one another. In most cases, we take ourselves to be very significant. We are too big. We are too great that we can be able to do anything. We don't have faith in God. We don't have faith in the power of nature. We don't have faith in Mother Earth. No, we feel we are greater. We are made of finer stuff. We feel very significant. Now that small ball you saw setting, that small ball you saw rising, and that tiny dot you saw are real photographs of the Earth from outer space, from the moon and from the interstellar space. What does that tell us? It tells us that the Earth is a jewel, beautiful. For those who have gone to the moon, they tell you when you are out there, you yearn to come back to Earth. There's no better place than Earth. Now let me tell you about that dot. Let me tell you about that ball that you saw rising. Let me tell you about that ball that you saw setting. When we learn history, and we are told that time, I don't know, you were in monkey-like shape, that's where it happened. Those who look at the fossils of animals and tell you dinosaurs and everything was roaming upon the planet, that tiny blue dot, that is where it happened. That is where the Anunnakis were. That is where the angels were. That is where God visited Abraham. That is where Napoleon fought the war. That's where Shaka the Great, king from South Africa, fought his wars. That is where Genghis Khan, Kublai Khan, fought their wars. That is where Patton fought. That's where Hitler fought. That's where Churchill was. That is where the spaceship that went to the moon was built. That's where we have been watching other things astronomically. That's where all the probes to the planets and their moons have been sent from. That is Mother Earth. That is the planet Earth. That shields us from such immense reality of us knowing that we may be thinking we are significant, but we are insignificant. look at that tiny blue dot. Look at yourself. If you are put in space and Voyager was to take a photograph, how would you look like? These are things we have to think of seriously. There is a caring creator who shields us, took it upon himself to create us or to program us on earth and put all the shields and guards that lack on the moon and lack on other places for us humans. And the sun deciding to create a bubble that covers all the planets. Continuously, the sun is blowing an electronic wind continuously, forming that bubble that protects all these planets. But out of all these planets, this is a unique planet that we have been programmed to exist on. It is the only planet where you will comfortably move without a spacesuit. You will sleep without interruption from other rays. In fact, those who go to the moon say it is difficult to sleep because you close your eyes and you are seeing light being sent from different places with your eyes closed. Here, you will close your eyes and there is darkness and you sleep. As you go out there, ultraviolet rays try to break down your DNA. Here you are shielded from all that. Out there is where you will see darkness that will make you scared. Those who go to the moon, the dark side or the other side, tell you that you cannot even see the whole. If you are handling something where there's no light, you can't even feel. When you see the pits, the craters, you cannot be able to judge their depth. It is totally dark. The earth makes everything look beautiful. Out there, things don't look so beautiful. This is where our history began. This is where our scientific improvement, our present life is. This is the planet that God made to shield us from so much. Those who have gone to the moon can tell you. SpaceX, when those who are there, if you ask, you can be able to interact because nowadays we have internet. Interact with those people who do that thing, the SpaceX thing. They tell you their personal feelings on a personal level, not simulated, real. Why am I talking like this? I'm talking like this because we found the earth. Many of us will go leaving the earth because there have been people, there have been generations, and the earth has been there. But from our experience with the earth, we realize that everything is not permanent. When I was young, there were forests all over, and we thought we could not deplete them. In places where there are forests, that is when I go, I just see story buildings, grass fields. The trees were depleted, something we thought would be impossible to do. And when we deplete these things, It creates a situation because being protected from the outer atmosphere, there are different changes that these things do. It was very interesting when I took some time, some years back, to go through the processes that happen to the earth. Yesterday we saw Venera on Venus, a planet that is crashing in its gravity, crashing in its atmosphere, boiling. The rocks are so hot that you cannot stand on them. They melt metal. Venera is metal, melting, taking a very short time to get pictures before it burns out and before most of its parts are crushed. Now, Venus and Earth are the same. Venus is slightly smaller than Earth, but they are generally almost the same. There was a time when Venus was making a pass by over the surface of the sun. It happens after so many years. And when I looked at Venus, because it was visible during the day, it happens after many years. And again, you are able to see, instead of forming an eclipse, it forms a small dark dot going across the corona of the sun. You cannot believe that that is a planet the same size as the Earth, a small dot, where it is, not very far away from us. Everything has spiraled. But as I was going through this, I realized this, that the Earth has been designed in that when you use carbon dioxide, there are rocks, chalk and all these carbonic rocks, they absorb the carbon dioxide so that the greenhouse gases don't let the heat run awry. The trees help absorb carbon dioxide so that the greenhouse effect are limited. We've cut the trees. The rocks that have been keeping the carbon dioxide that is supposed, that makes us have the greenhouse effect, we're using them without stopping. We are releasing other gases that have not been in the atmosphere of the Earth in such a large volume that the Earth may not be able to accommodate. A planet like Mars looks like it had legs, now it's dry. Venus may also have had legs and oceans, but everything has evaporated, it's vapor, sulfuric acid. But this regeneration of life, animals breathe in carbon dioxide and whatever, they die, they get buried in the soil, they decompose, taking a lot of what would have caused greenhouse effect with them. And the soil absorbing all those gases and chemicals that have caused the greenhouse effect have kept the Earth in the step it has been with controlled temperatures for that length of time. I'm continuing on that because this is a message that many people don't want to listen to. But those who have been to NASA, National Aeronautic Space Agencies, doing astronomy, and people like me who are laymen in astronomy, talking from imagination and whatever I'm being given, so will I call it astrology? These are the things that have been keeping the Earth with a controlled temperature, controlled gravity, controlled wind patterns. But our building of major dams have slowed down the earth. Ask that scientifically, it's not a speculation. Our diversion of water to other places have changed the weight on the earth. Building of some of the major dams, if you go scientifically, they had an effect. The earth had to shake to balance itself. There are some things and some eruptions and some other things that have happened on earth that have slowed the earth in its rotation by microseconds. These are things that we are initiating. We're doing many things that are harmful to the earth. And we like having conferences where we discuss mitigating solutions for such problems. We never implement any. There are a few countries like Finland that has kept a good forest. I've never been there, but I've met people from there. And Norway, good environmental conservation. There are others who have done disaster to the environment. And there are others who have sat in an imaginary tower talking of giving money to the Amazon countries, the African countries, that if we compensate this for you, you don't cut the trees will cut down the carbon dioxide. That is a lie. We've had many who have neglected the oceans. We've released petroleum and other things into the ocean. We've made the environment and the rising of temperatures so devastating to the oceans, in that we're forgetting almost 80% of the oxygen comes from the ocean. The planktons are the ones that produce. They're dying out. So we are affecting the earth in so many ways. And there are those green environmental movement groups that talk about this, but that is just a drop in the ocean. It is a high time that each one of us and each government in the world would wake up to this fact, that destruction to our resources may lead to a time, if we don't act, that blue ball, maybe if there are other species seeing us from elsewhere and know that there is life, maybe talking about it the way people talk about Mars. We don't know if it has programmed life that we don't understand, but there is sand and harmful chemicals on Mars. The moon also. People have not seen anything that resembles our life. You saw Venera on Mars. The other probes that have gone past Jupiter, past the planets, the moons of Jupiter, because there are so many moons and they rotate around it just the way we go around the sun. The moons of Saturn. The last planet that was demoted into a minor planet, Pluto. Others like Sedna, Haumea, Iris, and whatever, those others. There is none that is like us. Members of the earth, people of the earth, God gave us power to control all other things and to partner with Him in the preservation of the earth. We are in a dire situation. We have destroyed everything, but it's not too late. Some things have started running, like the ice and the poles and whatever. It said that no matter what we do, we may not be able to forestall it immediately, but in our trying now and changing our ways, we may be able to avoid a total disaster for all of us. Nobody will be spared if the earth spiral. Nobody will be spared if everything goes awry on the earth. It is an opportunity for us to rise up in every little way that we can. Countries that are involved, organizations, people pulling up as individuals in a big move to preserve for us and for the posterity this beautiful planet you've just seen called Earth. We shall not have talk shops like those people who go there and say many great things that they'll do, and then money and whatever is given to different places and nothing is done. Take this as an individual project. Organize groups, those who can be able. Prod your countries so that conservation of nature is done for our sake. For our sake. It's the only planet of these planets and the moons that I've seen. You have been seen. You can be able to go through that in the internet. That has the life that we know, that we are comfortable in, that we can survive in, that we are designed for. This is a call to all the people of the world. Let's save the world. The way Michael Jackson sang. Save the world, make it a better place. Let's make the world a better place. And let's remember, if we are not careful, Earth can change formation, but our design will disintegrate. We are programmed to be on Earth. And if conditions change in such a diverse manner, then we shall be more normal. Take this opportunity to ask your governments, to ask organizations, whatever, to make changes that we can be able to make to stop the runaway situations that are happening. Let's fight for Mother Earth, because if we mess with her, she will mess with us, and we don't want her to mess with us. That is my take today from a layman. I may not be able to tell you all those big things, all those detailed things, but this is at a level that we can be able to understand. Let's take care of the earth so that it takes care of us. That's my take.